we got a two-parter here with what happened on my universe mode. It's a PPV special! Part 1. Yep, part 1 of the pay-per-view special, the Retro Rumble. Although it looks like a Royal Rumble, it's a Retro Rumble because it's Nitro's pay-per-view special. Nitro ended their European tour in London, England, and the show opened with a tag team title match as Kurt Angle and Son, Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan, faced off against the World Tag Team Champions, the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And despite Kevin Nash's efforts, Kurt Angle started the match in the advantage, reversing Kevin Nash's opening move, then hitting him with a side Russian leg sweep and beating on him. And once Kurt Angle gave Kevin Nash the rough stuff, he also gave him a quick lesson in wrestling as they rolled about on the floor for a bit, and he locked Kevin Nash in a quick leg lock. He also chucked Kevin Nash to the outside, but that was Kurt Angle's mistake as Scott Hall crept up behind him and gave him an electric chair drop, which gave Kevin Nash a chance to get the advantage back. On the outside, Kevin Nash rammed Kurt Angle into the steel steps, then put him back in the ring, and we got some double teamness from him and Scott Hall. Hall then slammed Angle, hit him with a back suplex, and we got even more double teamness after that. Kevin Nash then slammed Angle, gorilla press slammed Angle, and even more double teamness. It was the Outsiders' match to lose now. However, after a short arm clothesline, Kurt Angle was able to sneak a hot tag into Jason Jordan, who went drop kick crazy on Scott Hall. He then did a delayed gut wrench suplex on Scott Hall and threw him into the corner, where he did his signature ramming into the corner. With Scott Hall suitably stunned, Jason Jordan nailed him with his back suplex neckbreaker combo. However, when he went for the pin, his rookie error led to Kevin Nash distracting the ref and Scott Hall kicking out, although it was a rope break, but we'll ignore that bit. Scott Hall was then able to hit a reversal and gain control. He took out Kurt Angle, hit a few moves, then smashed in Jason Jordan with a signature chokeslam and the Outsider's Edge. He tagged into Kevin Nash. We got a bit of double teamness, and then we got a bit of a jackknife powerbomb. Kevin Nash took out Kurt Angle as well, went for the pin, and Jason Jordan is just not ready for that title just yet. Instead, the Outsiders retain the tag team titles, and we move on to our second contest of the show, which is the returning match for Batista. We saw him in a promo a few weeks back, but this time he's returning to action, taking on Diamond Dallas Page. And Batista started strong, taking down DDP, hitting him with a Samoan drop and a belly-to-belly suplex before elbowing him to the floor. The Animal then lifted DDP up for a gorilla press slam. He hit that but was reversed on the next move. DDP then nailed his own version of a belly-to-belly and the X-Dream, but when he went to ram Batista's head into the turnbuckle, he did it a few times, but Batista eventually would stop, elbow him and throw his head into it instead. Batista then continued his onslaught with a brutal selection of moves, a cool suplex, a shoulder butt off the second rope, a kick to the face, an elbow drop, and a huge jackhammer. However, DDP was not going to go down yet. He dodged a Batista punch and hit him with an inverted atomic drop. He then went for his comeback move, which was a couple of clotheslines followed by another clothesline. He went for another move, but Batista reversed with a fireman's carry. He threw DDP into the corner, then slammed him right down into the ground, hit him with the Batista bomb, and sorry DDP, this match is over. 1, 2, 3, Batista wins on his return match. Moving from returns, we go over to a very personal feud as former tag team champions face off against each other. Sting is taking on the Ultimate Warrior once again. And the Warrior was not pulling any punches. He went straight into it with a clothesline to Sting. He thumped him on the back, hit him with an elbow drop to the back, and then rammed his head into the canvas a few times, following that up with a nasty looking kick to the back. The Warrior continued ramming Sting's head into the canvas before mounting him, lifting his arms and beating Sting in the face. He lifted him up for a slam, however Sting wriggled out and hit him with a Russian leg sweep before chopping him in the back and surprisingly lifting him up for a gorilla press slam. The Stinger continued putting the Warrior down with a tombstone piledriver and jumping on him for a DDT. He went to the second rope and hit an elbow drop which looked more like a knee drop. Irish whipped him, but the Warrior bumped into him and grabbed him instead for a sidewalk slam. This time it was the Warrior going for the Gorilla Press Slam, but Sting reversed out of it. Clotheslined the Warrior from behind, hit him with a sidewalk slam, elbowed him in the back of the head, but the Warrior just got up and rammed him down. The Ultimate Warrior beat up Sting in the corner, threw him down and suplexed him onto the ropes, but Sting had one card left in his deck. The lights went out, and suddenly, when the lights came on, Sting was behind the Warrior and went straight for the Scorpion Death Drop, which he hit. He went for the pin, and the shock must have knocked out the Warrior because he didn't kick out. 1, 2, 3, Sting was your winner. But after the match, Sting wasn't done with the Warrior. He attacked him from behind, rammed him into the apron, and then threw him into the steel steps. I'm guessing this feud is not over yet. We're halfway through, but still plenty of action to be had. Title match now, the European title, as the Hart Foundation's Bret Hart was defending against Rikishi. Unsurprisingly, Rikishi didn't take any shit from Bret Hart to start with, smacking him in the face and nailing him with a backbreaker. And of course, Rikishi didn't stop there, hitting a kind of Northern Light suplex and a side suplex and a full forward slam before Bret Hart caught his next fist and kicked him in the gut, hitting him with a crossbody, but it didn't take him down. A clothesline did though, as did a drop kick. He then hit Rikishi from the second rope with a fist drop, hit him with a crucifix, hit him with an inverted atomic drop, then clotheslined him to the outside, where he would proceed to miss an elbow drop to the outside, and Rikishi would once again have control. He slammed Bret into the side of the ring and then slammed him onto the floor outside. Rikishi hit a backbreaker, but Bret Hart just shook it off and put Rikishi in the ring. But when he got in the ring, he got reversed and kicked in the gut. He went for a clothesline and got reversed again. Rikishi then put him on the second rope and sat on him. With Rikishi being a big lad, he had to fit a rest hold in there somewhere, and that's when Bret Hart took the opportunity to get a reversal. He quickly hit Rikishi with a pile driver and went for the pin, but Rikishi kicked out. So Bret Hart went for a running crossbody and picked up Rikishi, but that's when Rikishi reversed again, and Bret Hart grabbed him, but Rikishi reversed again. He choked Bret out on the ropes, and when he was down, Rikishi sat on him again. He went for a pin, but press LB for resiliency. The big man went for a belly-to-belly suplex, but it was Bret Hart's turn to reverse. He did that and then hit a crucifix, went for the pin. Rikishi kicked out. He threw Rikishi into the corner, hit him with an elbow drop to the back of the head, and then one more pile driver for good luck. Bret Hart went for the pin, and finally Rikishi stayed down. Bret the Hitman Hart retains the European Championship. On to another match now, and it's another feud as The Rock and Chris Jericho were going to go one-on-one. Surprising how this one's panned out, considering it's not even one of the 3 official feuds, but luckily 2K19 gives us a cutscene for everything. It was Jericho starting this match out in front, nailing a bulldog and a dirty German suplex. He then hit a sunset flip off the second rope, but didn't even register a 1 count on The Rock. He hit a suplex and tried to carry him over to the corner, but that was enough for The Rock. He'd had enough. He reversed out and took control. The Rock started his offense with a bulldog of his own. He then hit a punch combo, the one that ends with him spitting in his hand and smacking him in the face. We then got a Samoan drop and a clothesline in the corner and a belly to belly. The Rock then went flying with a clothesline, but got reversed after that. Jericho kneeing him in the gut, hitting him with a forearm and a drop kick, rolling him to the floor and then elbowing him in the head. Jericho tried for the submission victory, putting on a cross arm breaker, but The Rock quickly reversed out of it with some punches and took the control back. Unfortunately for The Rock though, his advantage was short-lived. He hit a clothesline, went for an arm wringer, but Jericho reversed, put him down with a drop toe hold and hit the code breaker. Jericho went for the pin, but luckily for The Rock, he was able to press LB for resiliency. Despite being ahead in the match, Jericho was able to hit his comeback move, which consisted of a couple of shoulder barges. But when The Rock threw him over the top rope, Jericho then went to the top rope and went for a double axe handle. The Rock reversed though, hitting him in the gut. The Rock then had control himself, hitting him a clothesline and another spit slap, taking him down with a spine buster and going for the people's elbow. And once the elbow pad is off, you know what's coming. He hits the ropes, comes back and nails the people's elbow. He went for the pin, but Chris Jericho kicked out at 2. This frustrated The Rock. He just picked him up, hit him with a rock bottom. And this time Chris Jericho was down for the count and The Rock was victorious. And after the match there was no post-match beatdown, just celebrations from The Rock. But it seemed a bit more like disappointment from Chris Jericho. What next for Y2J? But we'll have to find out another time, because it was time for part 1's main event for the Retro Rumble. It was a WWE 2K19 title match where the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase was challenging the champion, the Phenom, the Undertaker. And DiBiase began with a surefire way of pissing off the Undertaker. He punched him in the face. Well, the Undertaker retaliated with a straight right hand and followed it up with a few more right hands. He threw him over the top rope, but he remembered he didn't want to send him to the outside. Instead, he brought him straight back in with a slam, and then it was time to go old school. However, you do have to remember, old school isn't that hard anymore, and DiBiase just took it and reversed, getting control, hitting him with a side breaker, hitting him with a Russian leg sweep, and then choking him while he was on the floor. Once the Undertaker had managed to get back up, DiBiase put him down with a neck breaker, but he got back up again, and this time he reversed, giving Ted DiBiase several punches to the guts, UFC style I guess, and then gave him a huge slam. And after kicking him in the gut, he hit him with a DDT, took him to the second rope, took him down, and then punched him again, but DiBiase was able to get an elbow to get the advantage back. DiBiase nailed a slam and a second rope elbow drop and locked in the $1 Million Dream, but the Undertaker reversed out. But DiBiase kept control, raking the eyes and hitting a big back suplex. However, DiBiase did not have control for that much longer, as the Undertaker reversed with a fireman's carry, put Ted DiBiase down with a big choke slam, and then finally nailing the tombstone pile driver. And was DiBiase down for the count? Of course he was, and the Undertaker retained the WWE title. And that's the end of part 1. And that's the end of what happened on my universe mode. Like and subscribe. Come back for part 2. It's the Rumble match.